Hello, and welcome to my first ever YouTube video. My name is Holly. By day, I talk about books with disinterested high school students, and on the evenings and weekends, I love to talk about books with people who aren't just doing it for a grade. Quick disclaimer, you might hear my dog snoring in the background. We went for a nice long walk today, so she is quite tired. This video is a little symbolic for me because I'm fairly new to the bookish community on the internet. One of the first things I started to see people kind of talking about were arcs, and I didn't know what it was. As I continued to dive into Bookstagram and Book Talk, I quickly learned that an arc is an advance reader copy of a book that is not yet released yet, that authors and publishers will send out for early review. I made it my goal early on with my Bookstagram to get an opportunity to read an arc. Very quickly after I set that goal, one of my very favorite authors who I go to anytime I'm in a book slump, her books really helped reignite my passion and my love for reading after a long period of burnout when I was finishing college as an English major, and then, you know, as a brand new teacher. I didn't have the time or the energy to read for fun. And after about 8 or 9 years of not reading for fun or for pleasure, I picked up one of her books, and that was it. It's a done deal. So when I saw that she's coming out with a new book in February of 2024, I let myself hope that maybe I might be able to get an arc of that book. And here we are. The day has come. The other day I woke up to an email from Freida McFadden's team that I get an early copy of The Teacher. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this. I saw the email first thing. I wasn't even out of bed yet. I saw the email on my phone and I immediately popped out of bed, and it turned my whole mood around for the entire day. So I thought I'll document the process with my first YouTube video. How symbolic. So I'm getting ready to start reading The Teacher today. I thought I might commemorate the experience with a little reading vlog and a spoiler-free review at the end. So stick around to see what my thoughts are on The Teacher by Freida McFadden. I'm a little bit nervous about this because I am a little bit picky about the way education, schools, classrooms are portrayed in literature. As someone who's worked in public education for over 10 years at this point, when I'm reading a book that has something to do with a school or a classroom or education in some way, it kind of irks me when it's very clearly not true to the reality of education today. So whether that's in process or politics or policy or anything like that, it can get under my skin a little bit. So I'm a little bit nervous, but I have faith in Miss Freida. She's never steered me wrong. You can see my collection of print books that I have of hers here. Everything else of hers I've read on my Kindle. I think I'm pretty close to having read almost everything that she's written, which makes me a little nervous because what am I gonna do once I've read all of her books? I don't know. So I'm gonna dive in and let's see how this goes. Husband and wife teacher duo. I was not expecting that. The wife teaches math and the husband teaches English. Okay, so I've read the prologue and chapter 1. So my time estimate on my Kindle should be fairly accurate by now. The time left to finish the book is settled down at about 5 hours and 25 minutes to finish. That's a little bit longer than her other books. I wonder how many pages this one is compared to the others. Usually they're like four-ish hours for me. Okay, print book is 400 pages long. Let's compare that to, what did I just read? The Locked Door. I feel like I read The Locked Door pretty quickly. That one was 320 pages, so that makes sense. It's a little bit longer. Okay, back at it. Okay, it's Monday evening. I took my dog for a walk. I've got dinner in the oven. I've taken a shower, and now I'm gonna sit down and read for a little bit. I was able to read a little bit on my break today, and I think I'm about 20% of the way through. It's good. So far, so good. Not seeing any red flags, nothing's getting under my skin with the way the school is portrayed or anything like that. The scene in the mall gave me some serious anxiety. So always love it when a book makes me feel something viscerally. So I'm gonna sit down, read for a little bit, and see how far I can get today. Hi, I'm at work. It's my lunch. I read a couple chapters before I had to leave for work this morning, and this is the first moment I've had to pick my Kindle back up, and I have been dying to get back into this all day. So I'm gonna read as much as I can while I'm on my lunch, and then I guess I'll just sadly get back to work when I have to. Here we go. I'm at the 50% mark, almost 50% of the way through, and I've hit that point where I hit with all of Freida's books where I'm like dead certain I know what the deal is and what's going on, but I'm sure that that's going to be completely turned on its head by the time I finish the book. I have no idea what's coming. But my blood is boiling. I feel like this is lying. Oh, gross. Red flags galore. Ew. Yeah, take care of it yourself, asshole. Ugh, no. Ugh. I think that note was from him. Mm. Okay, right off the top of my head, this is the first Freida book that I was able to kind of figure out or anticipate the main twist. But just like she always does, she got a few really good ones in there at the end that I did not see coming. And now I'm gonna go to bed, and I'll have more well put together thoughts tomorrow for my review. Ugh, amazing. I loved it. All right, so I finished this bad boy up last night and couldn't get to sleep. I was so worked up. As I mentioned in my intro, I am a teacher myself, and so I can be a bit finicky when it comes to books that portray a school in some way. Typically, it can kind of irk me or get under my skin a little bit when school policies or procedures are not depicted in a way that's very realistic. They can come off very cliche. And so usually I find myself kind of thinking as I'm reading the book, well, that would never happen, or that's not how this works. It would never go down like that. And then I have a hard time kind of re-engaging with the story after something like that. So I was a little bit nervous about this book going into it. However, she did not disappoint. There was one scene in particular where a teacher writes a note for a student giving them permission to leave school early that kind of had me looking a little bit more closely at the page, but I was able to kind of move past that because, I don't know, maybe there are schools, you know, I'm on the West Coast, maybe there are schools on the East Coast that operate that way. It wasn't a big enough concern to derail my reading experience. Another thing that had me kind of scratching my head is the shoe collection that Eve has as a teacher on a teacher's salary. That's not realistic. However, the shoe aspect of that particular character did lead to some emotions for me. And I love it when a book makes me feel something kind of viscerally. And, you know, I felt every time she considered buying a new pair of shoes or acquiring a new pair of shoes some way, I got kind of anxious and nervous and worried. I kind of felt my own financial anxiety kick in. So I did appreciate that aspect because it made me feel something for the character and for the storyline. So if you're familiar with Freida's books, you know that she is the queen of twists. And typically when I'm reading something that she's written, by about the 50% mark, halfway through, I have some theories that I've formulated and I think I've got it figured out. And then usually in the last 10% of the book, it's revealed that I was completely wrong. And right around the halfway mark, I had my own ideas and theories. And turns out I was right this time. I think this is the first time that I have actually called it with a Freida book and wasn't completely caught off guard with the final outcome. But with that being said, there were still many twists in the last half of the book that completely surprised me and that I did not see coming at all. So I really appreciated that. I kind of liked knowing where the book was going, although I don't usually try to make a very strong effort to figure it out because I like to be surprised. I like to kind of go on that winding path that a story takes. And sometimes figuring it out ahead of time kind of takes the fun out of it. So I don't try too hard to figure out the twists ahead of time. I was very proud of myself for figuring out this one. And I did, like I said, appreciate that there were still many more surprises sprinkled throughout the last half of the book that kept me on my toes. It made it a really fun read. Overall, throughout the course of the story, I was on a roller coaster. I was worried, I was anxious, I was enraged, I felt vindicated, and then brought me right back to having my blood boiling at the end again. I do like seeing representation for high school teachers in shows, movies, literature. I mean, not in that way, not in this way. But I feel like a lot of the entertainment that's out there that is kind of school centered or school related typically focuses on school at the elementary level, and so I always like when there's something at the secondary level for me to check out. When I'm in a reading slump, I pick up one of her books and it pulls me right out, and I was really honored and really thankful to be given the opportunity to read this early. So thank you so much to Freida. Thank you so much to Poisoned Pen Press for the opportunity to read this early. I loved it. It comes out in just a couple months. It'll be on the shelves on February 6th, 2024. If you're a Freida fan, if you like thrillers, you like psychological thrillers, suspenseful stories with lots of twists, definitely check this one out. I am always on the hunt for a good thriller. I love psychological thrillers, so leave me a note down below and let me know what your favorite thriller is. And thanks so much for watching.